Heyo,
Hello, hello.
how's it going?
All good?
Oh, good. Awesome. Well, we should be getting some people coming in here in the next 5 minutes. If you want to go ahead and just share your screen now, that way when people land on here, it's just it's already up.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yep, I can see it now.
Good.
Perfect. No, I'm really interested in your presentation. I've had a lot of experience kind of on the other side of freelancing, on hiring, through Upwork. I've hired a lot of VAs and a lot of people that I've worked with for actually like 4 or 5 years. I've met multiple of my Upwork people I've hired in Colombia. I went to Bangladesh to meet two of my one of my VAs and a developer that I've been working with for a few years. So the freelancing industry is just a really cool space. So I'm really interested to hear more about your background.
Yeah. So I would say that I'm as well representing both sides, because I started as a freelancer, and then on the way I started to consult, and ultimately I'm a coach. So as well, I'm hiring freelancers, and I've been working for companies, remote companies, who were hiring freelancers. So yeah, I kind of know the both ways as well. And that's interesting, for sure.
Yeah, I think that probably gives you a really good 360 view about the space, where I haven't really done freelancing myself. I've helped a lot of people get started in the space. And I think having kind of that whole view from the freelancing side and from kind of coaching and hiring freelancers, it makes you the expert to give advice on that. So I'm really excited to kind of get started. And it looks like we've got people already joining in. So for those of you who just joined in, we're going to give everyone else a few more minutes to kind of get going. I know some people are probably utilizing this software for the first time. So sometimes it takes a couple of minutes for them to download. So if you're getting started, get comfortable. We're going to get going in about a minute or two here. Make sure that everything you've got is kind of, focused on the webinar. We're going to give you our 100% full attention. So we want to make sure that you guys are doing the same. And I think if you do that, you're going to get the most value out of this presentation. There's going to be a lot of great value. And again, for everyone who sticks around, we've got a lot of cool freebies and gifts for everyone who stays afterwards. So the main structure of this presentation is going to be around 45 minutes of Ania kind of giving us some great insights on the freelancing network and platform, and just kind of all of her insights that she's picked up over the years. And then we're going to have a 15-minute Q&A towards the end. So if you have any questions that come up, we're going to have an actual Q&A platform through Zoom. So make sure you go ahead, feel free to utilize the chat now. So if you're just tuning in, we're really curious to find out where everyone's coming in from. So let us know what location you're at now. I'm currently based in Tbilisi, Georgia, the country. And Ania, where are you at now? Where are you based out of?
I'm currently in Lisbon, Portugal.
Oh, very cool. We just got somebody tuning in the chat. Claire from Portugal. Hola, nice to see you.
Hi, guys.
We got another one. A lot of people from Portugal, so you're going to have some friends in here, I think.
Probably.
Beatrice from Portugal, from Lisbon. Very cool. Alessia from Ireland. How's it going, Alessia? Thanks for joining us. Tom from Georgia, USA. Very cool. I'm in Georgia, the country. Very nice. Claire, British, living in Lagos. Awesome. So, Ania, you said you're originally from Poland, right? Which city are you from?
I'm from Poland, yes. And you probably see my screen, like everything here is in Polish.
Yeah.
So you can, like, if you are figuring out what language is that, it's Polish. I'm from Krakow. Krakow is the second biggest city in Poland, situated in the south of the country. Yes.
That's the main place that I went to visit, and I was actually really impressed. I'd been living in Prague for about 2 years, and I hadn't ever had a chance to go to Poland. And my last name's Polish, so I've always wanted to go visit. I've always enjoyed the food and kind of a little bit of insight of the culture. So visiting Krakow was absolutely an amazing experience. And for any of those people tuning in, definitely go out to Krakow. And also, Lisbon's a great place. Portugal is such a beautiful country. How long have you been based there for, Ania?
Not that long. I think it will be around 2 months at the moment. Yeah, after I've been during the first lockdown in the world, I was in Mexico for a few months, and then we came back with my partner, and we've been around Poland and Germany. And then, the weather started to get a little bit colder. So we were thinking, okay, where can we spend the winter, European winter? It was between Spain and Portugal, but in the end, we've chosen Lisbon because we saw that many of our digital nomads friends are hanging out there. So we decided to join them, and yeah, we are having a nice time considering the situation.
Yeah, I think all of us digital nomads are normally chasing the sun, and this is actually going to be one of my first full winters for a decade. So it does get kind of cold here. It's not too terrible compared to a lot of other places. I'm sure Poland is a lot colder in the winter, but I'm curious, what's the weather like now in Portugal?
Today it was really warm. I don't know if you know the Celsius, degrees, but it was 23 and full sun. So really warm as for the,
wow.
Yeah.
That's
it was
beach
really
weather.
nice. Yes, exactly. So I'm sure that many people who are not working went to the beach. And the weekend is going to be similar. So I'm planning to visit some beaches, of course, only in the morning, because as I told you, we have this weird lockdown over the weekend where from 1 p.m. we can't be out. So yeah, we'll be just using our free time in the morning.
Yeah, you got to make use of your week before the weekend, or early mornings on the weekend. So for all of those, looks like a lot of people just kind of joined in. Everyone, if you're just joining us, please go ahead, put your location, let us know where you're at in the chat section. We're going to be utilizing the chat section a lot. We're going to be giving shout outs, reading your comments. And at the very end, if you have any questions, we're going to have a 15-minute dedicated Q&A section. So there is a little Q&A feature. So you should see that bubble down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. So if you have any questions that come up throughout the whole presentation, you don't have to save it to the end. Just go ahead and put those in there. And we're going to try to get to every question that's asked. So please make sure you do answer those questions, or put those questions in the Q&A part and not in the chat, because it might get lost through all the chat boxes. So looks like we've got Michael Holmes, a friend of mine, tuning in from Tbilisi. Hey, Michael. Great to hear from you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. We've got Sid from Minneapolis as well, and a few people tuning in from Montreal and Hamburg, Germany. We got Jay from New England, USA. Used to live in Berlin, Germany. Very cool, Jay. Thanks for joining us. Jerry Brown from Charlotte, North Carolina. Very cool place. I actually was in a bachelor party in Charlotte, North Carolina, a place that I hadn't heard too much about, but it's a really beautiful city. And looks like he's between North Carolina and Naples. So we've got a really international crowd here. And I think freelancing is extremely attractive to people from all over the world. I've helped some people that have, lived in South America kind of join the global marketplace. So instead of earning in their local country, they can earn in US dollars, or they can immediately increase their income by joining the freelancing marketplace. So we're going to have a lot of great value for everyone here. So Ania is the expert, and she's going to kind of go through. If you want to go ahead and move on to the next slide, Ania, we'll go ahead and get started. So this presentation is going to be Freelance 2.0, start like a pro. I love that title because freelancing has come a long way over the years. And if you're looking to get started in it, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's probably a little outdated if you haven't read up on it recently. So there's a lot of different tactics and stuff to really make sure that when you get started, you're able to set yourself up for success and build a really good foundation. So just to introduce ourselves, my name is Mike Swagunsky. I'm currently based here in Tbilisi, Georgia, but I've been working and traveling overseas for the past 10 years. I'm also a #1 best-selling author of the book, Global Career, How to Work Anywhere and Travel Forever. You can pick this up on Amazon for the next 2 days. I'm going to be selling it for 99 cents for the ebook. So that's a little gift for you guys. I'll have more information at the end. And me and Ania are going to have a lot of cool freebies for everyone who sticks around to the very end. So you're going to want to get comfortable and make sure you stay tuned for the whole show. Moving on here, my background has allowed me to kind of work as a digital nomad and travel, building my own companies and working remotely. And that experience has allowed me to visit more than 85 different countries. And then again, that's going to be one of the powers of freelancing, is you're able to work and travel kind of at your own pace and leisure. So with the book, I contribute for entrepreneur.com, and I have my own actual remote job board where we primarily focus on full-time, non-technical remote jobs. With all of that, I've helped thousands of people transition to working remotely and a flexible career. So I'm really excited to introduce Ania. She's got a lot of great experience freelancing, and she's going to really kind of take over from here. And Ania, please tell us a little bit more about yourself. I'm really excited to hear more, and I'm sure our audience is as well. So go ahead, take it away from there.
Yeah. So hi guys. Thank you so much for this introduction. I'm really happy to be here and share some of my expertise, some of my knowledge with you. So my name is Ania Krol. I'm from Poland, and I have been freelancing and coaching for 5 years now. Just 1 month ago, I discovered that I've coached more than 200 people already in growing their freelance business, and I work with people from many nationalities, 16 countries, and wow. I love this cultural diversity. I'm a digital nomad as well as Mike. I started my journey in 2018. So yes, I'm exploring the world as well. And yes, freelancing gave me this opportunity to work from wherever I want and skip the winters sometimes.
Yes.
Well, as Mike, I am a traveler, not yet 85 countries. I think it was 50. Still all right, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and still all my life to explore more. I love it. And I was now thinking that I should put this picture here, because we will both have the picture in Machu Picchu.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Which actually I visited this year, just 2 weeks before the lockdown, the first lockdown. So I'm really happy that I did it.
Yeah, that's really lucky you were able to get in there before they close things down.
Exactly. Mike, do you think it's the time to put the whole presentation on? Or...
Yeah, let's go ahead and move it to full screen if that works for you.
Yeah.
So before we get started, Nia, I'm curious, what were you doing before you got into freelance coaching? Were you freelancing yourself or doing something else?
Yes, exactly. I was freelancing. I started my career as a virtual assistant, actually, because shortly after graduation, I started to work in one of the biggest construction company in London. I was studying and then working in the UK. And but my career lasted 7 or 8 months. I didn't like the environment, so I quit very quickly, but also very aware that I didn't have that much professional experience. So I thought being a virtual assistant definitely gave me a lot of insights into the online business. So I started as a VA, and then I started to shape my expertise in online marketing. So at some point I shifted into more of a marketing consultant and project manager, working with startups. And at some point, one of the organizations that creates online bootcamps and online training, they asked me to mentor people and coach people in freelance skills. So naturally, somehow, the company asked me to do it, and since then, people started to ask me if I'm doing individual coaching, and I was not really thinking that I'm a coach. But then the feedback was pretty good, so I invested in coaching certification, and I started to work with individuals. So all went kind of smoothly. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like the market almost demanded some help from you, and I think that's kind of the best. Is, you have to have the progress. I think you have to really try out and see what you like and don't like. And I think freelancing gives you a lot of options to quickly try stuff, see if you're good at it, see if you enjoy it, and see if people are willing to pay for it. So it sounds like you've got a really natural progression with your career. So excited to hear more, and I'll let you take it from here.
Sure. So yeah, just quickly, guys, I want you to know what we are going to talk about. First of all, freelancing trends. Second of all, the title is Freelance 2.0. I'm going to compare it to the old way freelancing. I will talk a little bit about transferable skills, and in the end, I will give you some action steps to implement right away, so you can actually do something after our webinar. And this webinar is for freelancers who want to maybe change something in their freelance business, for people who want to start freelancing, for people who want to start, maybe provide some small online gigs, and for anyone who likes free and good content. I hope you're ready. So I'm sure there are many people sharing their opinions about the trends in the freelance economy, but basing on my own experience with working with clients who want to be freelancers or who are freelancers, and working as a person who is hiring freelancers to help me or my other clients, I kind of thought about these trends that are right now, or they are coming in 2021. And there are a few of them. These are most interesting, and I think the most important. First of all, we are focusing on collaboration and networking. Yeah, we are building space for communities. And for the past 10 years, freelancers were working very individually. And I think right now, because there is a crisis or because there's a huge competition, it's really important to start networking and meet other people and connect with other people. Yeah, so I think this is very important information for us to know, to join communities, to join groups that are around certain topics, so that you know people who know a little bit more than you, and you can ask them for help. Then specializing, yeah, focusing on building expertise. This is very important as well. I'm going to tell you about specializing a little bit more later, but just want to point out, focusing on personal branding. It is also very important. Many often my clients who are freelancers, they are just hiding themselves from the online world. They are scared to show themselves as a consultants, as specialists, but I think personal branding is crucial because of the competition. Another thing, it's having the scientist mindset. So not really trying to know everything from A to Z, but kind of being curious about the path. When we are building our freelance career from the scratch, we should go into this experience with the scientist mindset. So figuring out how things work and testing them on the way. And this is especially important for the people who are always waiting for the right moment to start freelancing, because they feel they are not 100% ready. Another thing it's as well important is that right now, like the old school job market was that you needed to be one person. So you needed to be a lawyer, accountant, a graphic designer. Right now, you don't have to be one or the other. Right now, you can be a lawyer and a blogger. Yeah, and you can, it's called like mosaic / career. And it's acceptable, and people shouldn't be afraid of talking about it, because it's really cool to combine this difference and parts of the business and together create something new, a new value. So I just want to point out, because many of my clients are scared to say that, hey, I'm an accountant, but as well I want to share my expertise, my knowledge about traveling, for example. So they are scared to show the world that they are both. And the last thing, which is still the trend, it always has been, having this entrepreneurial skills, because it is important, because freelancing, it is like having your small business. So you need to be responsible not only for delivering the job for your client, but you need to know how to get your client, you need to know how to market yourself, you need to know a little bit about taxes, about managing your time, managing your project, managing your money. So these entrepreneurial skills are very important, because as well we need to be very resourceful. Yeah, we need to create something out of nothing sometimes, right? So, and knowing how sales work, knowing how networking works, and asking for help. This is another thing. And here, I want to show you the old school freelancing and the freelance 2.0, something that we need to really think about when we want to create our freelancing career from the scratch. So in the past, we were, some people are still doing it, we were waiting to be ready. We were investing so much into certificates, courses. I need to have more in order to be enough to go there and find my clients and start building my business, right? Now, we really need to take the action. If any of you is thinking about freelancing for a while now, I would say you are ready, yeah? So we will never be 100% ready. Something like this doesn't exist. If you feel for a while that it's something for you, now is the time. Then old way, being generalist. And don't get me wrong, generalist in terms of having transferable skills like team management, like a good listening to people, asking questions, having emotional intelligence. These things are, of course, general, and they are really helpful for having a freelance business and helping your clients. However, specializing is really important. And you don't have to know your niche or expertise from the beginning. However, you should focus to find it as soon as possible, in my opinion. And in a while, I will tell you why. And other things, underpricing. Underpricing is something very common among freelancers because they don't know how to price their offers, and they are scared to talk about money, to ask for money. So right now, we shouldn't do that. We should really acknowledge your experience. Yeah, it is very, very important, because as well, if you start as a freelancer and you still need to figure out what you need to do, you still need to maybe learn some technical skills if you need. You need to acknowledge your personal experience as well, your life experience, because they are very often very important for your clients. And frankly, when I worked with clients and I was hiring freelancers for my clients, they always say that their ambition, charisma, attitude is more important than being 100% prepared for the role. Yeah, so this is really important. So yeah, please acknowledge that and see that this is very valuable. Another old school thing, in my opinion, is waiting for clients to come, aka I would say luck and hope sales system, when we are just waiting until clients are knocking to our doors and just waiting and waiting and waiting. Nowadays, we can't do that. We need to be a little bit more proactive. And because of that, we should know how marketing works, marketing and sales work. Yeah, so we need to know how to price our offer, how to create the offer, how to promote it, and of course, how to find the problem that our potential clients have. Yeah, and there was before a chaos management, so we didn't manage anything the same. Me, when I was starting freelancing, I was having few clients and it was overwhelming, and I didn't manage properly my time, my energy, my motivation, my tasks. So it was all very chaotic, very tiring. And for those of you guys who are thinking to go and start freelancing and be location independent, you probably don't want to do it in a way that you will work more than you are at the moment. Many often people are quitting corporate jobs, office jobs, because they want to have more freedom, more flexibility. But if you don't know how to manage your time, your tasks, your client, you're going to end up working 50, 60 hours with clients, and you are going to feel overwhelmed. And it happened to me. Yeah, that's why it is important to improve our management skills. Yeah, and management, it is important. And the last thing, yeah, it's if we have some struggles, we sometimes just take the long path to figure out things. It's good to put some work hard in order to develop your new career, new business idea. However, if you have an opportunity and maybe some budget to invest in others who already been through the things that you want to discover, why not asking for help? You can ask people who are already there, maybe your friends who already been there, who are a couple of levels ahead of you, or you can invest in help, which is you can invest in coaching, you can invest in consulting, you can buy an online course, and of course you can join webinars like ours.
Yeah, I think a lot of people struggle to know when to ask for help. And I think you got to find out if you want to really shortcut yourself, I'd say like coaching and kind of taking these courses and stuff, you're going to shortcut your system to success. You're going to cut down on the time it takes to get to where you want to be, because hopefully that person that you're getting help from is 3 or 4 years ahead of you. And you got to find the right person that's in the right place where you kind of want to go down. So asking for help is definitely essential. And that's really good advice, Ania.
Yeah, definitely. And this is what I did when I was developing my coaching business. It was it's a different industry than freelancing. And at some point I was stuck. I was just like spinning my wheels for a few months. Yeah. And I was like, hey, why not really reaching for help? And sometimes it requires a lot of going out of comfort zone. And it's like, wow, I need to like invest in myself money. And of course it feels weird at some point, but if you take your time and look for people who are sharing the content that you resonate with, if you follow a coach or a consultant or an influencer who speaks your language, then you can always have an opportunity to have a free consultation call and see how this person can help you. Right, so definitely a useful tip. Here, I just wanted to show you how old school freelancer have their luck and hope sales system when they are waiting for clients to come. Right, so I'm going to just run through all the freelancing 2.0 points that I showed you before, just to talk a little bit more about it so that you understand the context. So first of all, taking the action. Yeah, so I don't want to tell too much here, but probably there's some problem like limited belief or something that it's in your head that makes you feel that you are not ready. But as I told you, if you think about something for a while, you are ready, and you need to make a decision. Like, do I want to do it? Or I will quit the idea, yeah, because having an idea to change something, to start something, but not doing, that's frustrating, right? So making decision, hey, okay, next week I'm going to do some research about that, and I will just find the next logical small step. And then specializing, and this is super important and very counterintuitive. Me as well and my clients, we want to sell to everyone, because we think that if we sell to everyone, then we'll have more chances to get clients or get noticed. Yeah, but it's not like that. If you are a specialist, an expert in something, you can earn more. Yeah, when you have a problem, you don't want to go to a person who is a generalist and has some knowledge about the topic. You want to reach to a person who calls themselves an expert, a specialist. Yeah, that's why you, as a freelancer, you should start thinking about this as soon as possible. Yeah, make it as your personal project to discover that. Yeah, and me as a starting virtual assistant, of course, started as a generalist because I was discovering what I like to do and what I'm good at. However, after a few months, I got a good a tip from a colleague who said, like, as soon as possible, as soon as you get comfortable, start to think about the things that you like the most and you're good at. And it was marketing. Yeah. So this is how I kind of I created my second freelancing, I would say, profession, which would be a marketing consultant, right? And the more you know about your potential client, it will be easier for you to discover what they are exactly looking for. How can you help them? Yeah, asking this question. So it is really easier to market, to sell to a person if you know what they need and if you know what are their challenges, right? So it's important to focus on problem that you can solve, and you find a way to solve it, which is basically creating your offer. And here, I want to tell you a little bit about transferable skills, because as well, many people have in their mind that, well, I can't start freelancing because I don't have any skill. I've been working in the office and really I didn't learn anything. And many people, believe me, are telling me that. And frankly, I was thinking like this as well. And there are so many skills that are important in order to be a good freelancer in any industry, in any business area. If you are a graphic designer, if you are a virtual assistant, project manager, website designer, doesn't matter. Yeah, this skills are collaboration and teamwork, and believe me, not everybody is collaborative. It's not really true. Leadership, public speaking, creativity, problem solving, that's of course very important. Written and verbal communication, numeracy, research, quick learning. There are things that are really useful for your potential clients, right? So think about if you have any of them, and of course you can use it while creating your next freelance business. Yeah, and that's why I'm telling you this. It's because especially for this reason, when we feel that we are not ready yet, yeah, but you are ready, and I'm sure many of you, or even most of you, you have some skills that people are looking for. Yeah, so not only teamwork, not only creativity, but as well your network, yeah, your ability to listen, emotional and social intelligence, your customer service skills, project management skills. Maybe you know some certain programs or platforms how to use. Yeah, you need to be a little bit more reflective about what can you do, and then use it, because that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, Ania, that's really good advice. And I'd say if people are struggling to figure out, you guys in the audience, you have some superpower, you have some skills, I guarantee it. And if you can't figure it out, some people really struggle with figuring out what they're good at. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, and talk to your coworkers, and go in depth and ask them specific questions without giving much background of what you're looking for. Just ask them what you're good at, and they're going to tell you a few things. And you can kind of see, you'll see trends. Your friends and family and stuff will be showing, they'll tell you what you're good at if you have trouble figuring that out yourself. So that's a really good technique to use as well. So you guys have something, I guarantee it, and you just got to put it to use and find the right market for it.
Definitely. And here briefly, for those of you who still don't know marketing, it is important to know. I'm not saying that you need to have a huge, large knowledge about everything about marketing, but it's really helpful because, as I said, freelancing is a small business. So it's good to know how it works, yeah, in order to start getting clients as soon as possible. So I told you a little bit before about niche, about the people that you want to serve, that you want to sell to. And then we have a product, which is basically what you're offering, yeah, which is virtual assistant services, graphic design services, website development services, project management services. This is an offer. Or you can create some products like logo, like marketing materials, for example. And of course, there's a price. So we need to know how to price our services and how much could be the result that you bring. Yeah, how much is it worth for your to your potential client? And then we have a place. So platform, physical or virtual, I would say platform, which could be social media platforms, your website, networking events, email marketing, or like YouTube channel. And then we have a promotion, a different way of promoting, different method. Yeah, it could be self-promotion, it could paid advertising, it could be search engine optimization, copywriting. Yeah, these are the 5 most important things to consider. You can read a little bit more about them. And here I'm going to tell you quickly like how to look at them. So if you create your offer, and this is very common that we are overcomplicating our offers. We want to put as much as possible because we think it will attract more people. Again, the same thinking, promoting to everyone and offering everything. Yeah, and as I said, this is counterintuitive, and this is not it's not helping you to specialize in something. Yeah, so first of all, you need to be clear how your service solves the problem. And again, I'm giving you my example as a virtual assistant. I discovered that because of my services, my clients can focus on growing business, can focus on innovation, can focus on getting clients. And because they are so overwhelmed with their businesses, because they were solopreneurs, they were managing, the basics, foundations, administration, marketing, management of their inbox, for example, right? So because of this, they didn't have literally time to do something for their company to grow. And then I was coming in and I was supporting them. Yeah, and I was in my conversation with my clients. I was bringing up this problem, yeah, because they are not looking for a virtual assistant or a help or customer service or project management or website for the sake of it. There must be some business problem around there, yeah, and it's good to be clear what is the problem. And here there's I heard from one of the marketer the message that we should be more clear over clever, not over complicating and sharing too much of the sophistication. Here in marketing, clarity is key. Yeah, so how do you want to take your client from A to B? Yeah, how do you want to help them?
Yeah, I really like the KISS in marketing. It's keep it simple, silly.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because if you're confusing your clients or your potential customers, they're just not going to understand your offer, and they're going to just pass on by to the next person. So try to keep things simple and make it easy for what value you're going to be adding to the customer or to the client.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah, my own personal experience was that when I started coaching as well, I was trying to help everyone with a bit of business, a bit of life coaching. And then I asked some friends and colleagues, and they said like they don't even know what I'm doing because my message is not clear. It's like, oh yeah, you're doing like a bit of everything, and this was not my intention. I really wanted to create this message. Of course, it's okay to take your time to discover that and test it out. However, it's, I want to point out that for you so that you know where your aim should go. And here quickly about pricing, because the topic is really, it could be really long, but this is something that people are struggling with, and this is when people are underpricing their, freelancers are underpricing their services. And you need to find a price that feels good to you. And you can see like profiles of other freelancers on Upwork, for example, or other places. You can see their services, their packages on their website. You do your research, not only saying like, hey, I don't know, but you do your research, ask friends who are doing this, and then think about if this price feels good to you, and then think about taxes that you need to pay on top of it, and that's your price, right? So it really requires a couple of hours maybe of the research, but it's worth to find it out. I already said that before, but the place where you're going to market your services should be based on where your client is hanging out online. That's very important. And that's another thing that freelancers are not aware. and I'm not talking about platforms like Upwork, where they are online job platform and their clients are there. But when you are choosing, for example, social media platforms, we are assuming where our clients are. Yeah, and I made this mistake as well. I assumed that my clients are on Instagram, and I put so much energy there. I'm still on Instagram. I like to using it, but I'm using it more for a kind of lifestyle and some kind of fun things to share. But my clients were not there, right? So it's really, if you look at through the business side, it was useless for me to do this, right? So find out where are your clients, choose up to 2 social media platforms and try to master them. Yeah.
I think that's really good advice. I actually think email marketing, that's kind of my background. It's one of the only platforms where you actually kind of own it. You own those emails if they've opted in. And if you send those emails out, they're delivered, at least all of them are delivered, where like a Facebook group or Facebook, even on Instagram, only a small percentage of the people in your audience are seeing that. So one good tip, I think, is figure out who your client demo is, your demographic. Put out a survey. And I was actually doing this with my own audience. I was going to make a podcast. So I surveyed all, 50,000 email subscribers, and everyone's like, YouTube was the number one thing by far. And that's what kind of helped me get started with making YouTube videos, is because I surveyed my audience, my target demographic, and I was completely off. Podcast was like number 4 out of the things to create. So you got to find the right platform for what you're selling or what you're going to be doing. So I think surveying those potential customers, figuring out where they're hanging out, and just go there and be active.
Exactly. And here's another example of, like, if you wouldn't do this this survey, you would just like start a podcast and people would not be interested, and you like making a podcast, it's like a lot of work, the same as you having a YouTube channel, right? But you can do that, like if you still don't have your email list, of course, when you're starting. When I was starting as a coach, I created a survey on certain Facebook platforms that were for freelancers or digital nomads, because this is my target, and I asked 20 people to fill in the form, and then basing on that, I asked maybe 10-15 people to talk to me, because coaching is a little bit more like in person. So, but in return, I offer something like 15 minutes free coaching, and many people wanted to talk to me, and thanks to that, I shaped my offer. So you can definitely do that.
It sounds like we had very similar approaches. I did the survey, got on the phone with people, and you find out so much information by just talking to people, and you can also help them at the same time. So those could potentially be some of your first customers, the people who fill out that survey. So it's a really good technique to get started for a fairly cheap budget. So pretty much free.
Yeah. And a little bit about place here, specifically about networking. And this networking thing, I think it's very important. And I mentioned before the trends about networking and connecting with people in freelancing. And I think in all businesses, B2B, it's crucial to get out of your comfort zone and start connecting with people, start talking to them. It doesn't have to be about like selling immediately your service, because people don't like it, but just connect, ask people what they like, what they do, where they are, and start making connections. This is true. And because of this, when I got this tip as well from a friend, I started to network, I started to connect with people, and then other people connecting me with others. This is like you start the ball rolling, and everybody can support each other, right? For the purposes as well of a partnership. Sometimes not only the clients, but the partnership that you can make, right? So you can add people to your contacts, specifically on LinkedIn. People want to be added, people want to connect with you. So don't be afraid to do that. And of course, take a part in the events and webinars like ours, and connect with other people.
Yeah, I would say one thing about networking. I like to consider like interchange networking with relationship building. if you just go up to a stranger on the street and you're like, hey, will you give me some money for my business? They're going to be like, what? Like, try to build some rapport with people. And the best time to start networking is before you need something. Like, build a relationship with
Yeah.
people. Don't just ask for something, because people aren't going to respond to that. I get, like, I'm sure you're very active on LinkedIn. You probably get a lot of cold messages, and a lot of times I just don't even respond to it. They're so off the mark. They haven't taken a look at what I do or what I offer. They're trying to sell me something right away. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with anything in my business. It's so far off. If they would have taken even 2 or 3 minutes, they would have just saved themselves some time and potentially build a little bit more of an authentic network, where they might be tarnishing their kind of brand by doing that. So you have to put yourself out there, though. That's very true. Get involved with stuff.
I couldn't agree more. And this is like, I name it networking because for people to understand, but we call it a little bit more often social selling, right? So making a relationship. And yes, I'm getting tons of information with many links to like, why would I even spend my time to click 5 links? I'm usually ignoring these messages, but once I think I gave a hint to a person, because maybe they don't know, right? That, like, why would I, like, I don't know you. Why would I even look at your offer? Like, do you know what I'm doing? And and they don't care. So they're like, whatever, like, I will send a massive information to people. But so we need to pay attention to that, building relationships. That's true. One thing about personal branding, and again, here the topic is so broad, but the key aspects of self-promotion as a personal brand, I would say it's 3 things: building credibility, and you build credibility by showing referrals, by showing your character, your real you, be authentic, because people like that, and competency, that you show that you did something in a good way. And that's why we are collecting testimonials and references from other people, especially as freelancers. And you invest in visibility, so you actually need to get this momentum of bravery and do something online, share your first post, share the article, and just start doing things, not thinking about the result really when you're just starting, but just do it for the sake of learning, and don't try to be perfect from the beginning. Don't try to have 100 likes. It's just you're practicing and you're building a foundation. And when you have a foundation, you can then improve things. That's the most important that I teach my clients. And as I said, relationships, which is something that people forget, because relationship can help in your business. Managing effectively, again, here, I would say there are 3 things that we need to remember when you start freelancing, because when we will get our first jobs or our first clients, it is starting to be a chaos management, which is okay because we are learning, right? But we need to think about 3 very important things about the management. And first of all, we have self-management. And if you are working on your own, because freelancing is working on your own, there's nobody here next to your back saying, hey, Anya, come back to work, or look at your screen, deliver the work, you have a deadline. No, you are this person. You are the person who is managing yourself. You are your own boss, right? So you should really pay attention to have a discipline, to manage your time wisely, to take breaks, to manage your motivation, stress levels. There are new things. So that's crucial. Without this, without your healthy mind, there will be nothing else, right? So we need to pay attention to that, to our physical and mental health. And we have process management, which is more of a like project task management. Well, we need to learn some of the tools that help us to manage projects, especially when we start getting more than 1 or 2 or 3 clients. So we are not confused and clients are not getting weird tasks. And this was my experience in my first year of freelancing. I just got few clients. There was complete chaos, and I was sending wrong tasks to wrong clients, which is very unprofessional. So I needed to, I learned the hard way. And the client management, which is something as well very important. if you are looking for clients, you are a freelancer, you're a business owner, clients are not your bosses, and they require from you some kind of good customer support, customer management, customer journey, customer experience. Yeah. So you need to treat them so that they feel that the investment in your services or your products are worth that. Yeah. And sometimes freelancers forget about it. They just do their job. They don't talk to people. They don't communicate. They forget about communication process. Right. So yeah, these three things I would say.
Ania, do you use any sort of project management platform or tool that you could recommend?
Yeah, so I'm I like three. I like Trello, I like Asana, and like Monday.com. And for me, it works like this: that I use them. So I use Trello for a year, and then I get bored, and then I'm using Asana. I get bored because I'm looking for new features. I love like techie things, and I find all of them very useful. For starting, for the individual person, Trello is amazing. Trello is amazing, and if you use like Kanban method to manage your tasks, works perfect.
It's my favorite project management system. I would say if you're getting started off, check out Trello. It's the best one. It's what I use personally, and it's what I suggest a lot of people. Monday's also really good. I despise Asana. I just don't like it, but some people do. But you got to figure out what works best for your structure. And I think most people on average are going to find Trello will fit their business. So
yeah, Trello is good. Trello is good. Yeah. Yeah. And as I said, investing in help and asking for help. This is another thing that as well is not clear, and you are allowed to do that. And I wouldn't grow my freelance business that quickly, I would say, if I wouldn't just get out of this limited belief that I will do it on my own. I started to go to online communities, to specifically to Facebook groups, and I started to ask questions like, hey, I'm starting Freelancer, how to do this, how to write a proposal, how to prepare myself for a conversation, right? So there are thousands of online communities and people like to help. Yeah, so just try it out, like ask questions. You can, as I said, you can connect with people on LinkedIn, and you can ask them as well. Like I would be super happy if people will be asking me some questions on LinkedIn. Why not? Or like commenting under my posts to ask questions. Yeah, if something is not clear. And networking events, webinars like ours, you have right now the possibility to ask questions. And again, investing in you, which is investing coaches, consultant, online courses, but this is investing in you, really, yeah, which is still something that people find a lot of resistance. But it's fine to pay, I don't know, 1,000 euro for a big screen TV. Yeah. But it's hard to pay for 100 euro for like for a consultation. Yeah.
No, I always find that funny, and especially if in North America, people will spend $25,000, $30,000 on like a year of university, but that is also can be a really good investment. But I think coaching, mentorship, online courses, you get so much more ROI for that $500 to $1,000 that you're investing in yourself. And it's so much more immediate. You can get that investment back in 30 days and 10x that investment. So invest in yourself, whether it's through reading educational products or finding coaches or people who are going to help you out along the way. You're going to need to find the right balance that works for you. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to go through, do some of the hard work yourself and supplement that with coaches and consultants and online courses.
Exactly. So I have for you like 3 useful tasks to do if you want to start, if you still don't know what to do as a freelancer, if you want to start freelancing. So first of all, think about those transferable skills, because it's better to use something that you already have rather than trying to look for more skills or more courses, right? So I always tell my clients to think about your shining moments in the past, like something that you are really proud of, and think about what kind of skills or soft skills or technical skills you had to use in order to deliver this this good task or some achievement. Yes. Also, you can scan your CV, resume, if you want to see what you've been doing in the past and exactly which skills were helping you to do your job. And of course, you can check transferable skills online on Google and see which one match your own, right? And just focus on maximum 4 files. Think about if are your real strength. Yeah. So this is the one thing to do. Another thing, I don't know if you've heard about Ikigai. Mike, did you hear about it?
I've never heard about this. This looks really interesting, though.
Yeah, it's another model that I'm using with my clients. It's Ikigai, in essence, is a Japanese philosophy that talks about the purpose of your life, discovering the purpose of your life. So the reason for you to wake up in the morning and say, I love my life and I love what I do. Of course, we are all looking to have one, to have our Ikigai. This is how you spell it, Ikigai. And basically, it's pretty simple. Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty simple. Maybe it's not easy to do it, but it's pretty simple. You're asking yourself 4 questions. Yeah. So first question, probably the easiest, would be that what you love to do. It's something that brings you joy. That's something that is very makes you feel alive. Yeah. And here you can ask the question, and you can answer anything. You don't have to have a focus on a job or work or freelancing. It's just you point, you write in a bullet points what you love to do, right? And then the second thing, well, the question is, what are you good at? Yeah, and it's not always the same. Some people love to sing, but maybe they are not good at it, right? But I'm sure there are many things that you are good at. Just write it down. Yeah, again, maybe soft skills, maybe some technical skills, maybe you're good with people. So this is another question. And the third question is what the world needs. Yeah, according to you, according to your own worldviews. What do you think people need? More healthy lifestyle, they need more coaches, they need more sports, they need more business knowledge. So you're trying to figure out from your own perspective what the world needs, because this is, you're going to shape the needs, the potential problem that you can solve. And then the fourth question is that what you can be paid for. Yeah, so it would be write down the solutions or the answers, what you can be paid for, right? Maybe for some people that they love singing, they're not good at it, maybe they will not be paid for that, I would say, but I'm sure that there are some things that you can be paid for, right? So when you answer these 4 questions, this Ikigai should be the point. Yeah, so you might be good you love, for example, Facebook or Instagram. You love creating captions for Instagram, and you're good at it, and you know that people can pay you for that. Yeah, you can start shaping your Instagram strategies a profession. And you think what the world needs? Well, people would need to use Instagram, especially maybe industries connected with hospitality, or they are based on kind of visuals, right? So you think maybe this, and you think maybe people will need more as well knowledge about healthy lifestyle, then you would say maybe you will work for this particular industry, right? So you connect the dots and you try to create a profession for yourself. So it's a good exercise to do. You need a little bit of time to reflect. And then I would say the third thing, after you figure out a little bit more about your Ikigai, and then kind of shape some kind of profile of a person or industry or a company that you can help with your current skills, then you can answer these questions. So there is some problem that the world needs, and then you can say why there is a problem. Yeah, so maybe there are not enough people who are helping them, maybe there's not enough knowledge. What is the cause? Yeah, what's the cause of people are not using Instagram in a proper way because they don't have time to learn it, and they just don't know where to look for the information. So maybe you will be the point of the information, right? So then how can you help them to fix the problem? You can deliver a certain consultation about that. You can create a coaching program. You can create an online course. You can focus on specific things like Insta stories for small businesses, for example, specifically saying about that. And why is it different? Yeah. Why you? Why would they hire you instead of others? This is another thing that we should always think about to make something different. And why is it different? Because maybe it could be your character, it could be your personality, you know, the type of a person you are, and that's why it will attract the clients to you. Or maybe because you know really a lot about specific solution, for example. Yeah. So these questions are really, really helpful to figure out a little bit deeper about how you can help others with your skills. And I guess that's it.
Well, that's some really good information. And now we've got the segment for the Q&A. So for all of those of you still with us, please go ahead. If you have any questions, utilize the Q&A function, and we'll try to get to each one. I saw a few questions come through the chat, but make sure you go ahead. If you want those answered, put them in the Q&A, and I'll go ahead and bring those up on the screen. But Ania, I've got a few questions while everyone's kind of typing away. Which platform do you recommend? Let's say you're just starting off, you have no experience. Where do you recommend people kind of going to get started with freelancing?
So I built my business on Upwork, and I know that some people hate it, some people love it. Yeah, it is pretty busy already. Yeah, it's a global platform, international platform where many people are signing up every day. However, if you use it properly, I would say if you learn how to use Upwork, because there is a way to learn it, like position your profile there and learn how to write effective proposals, I would say it could work. Yeah, I'm working with a client who just 1 week ago set up a profile there, and she already got a few invitations. Yeah, Facebook allowed a few years ago to create Facebook groups as job boards, and there people as well daily are posting certain jobs. Yeah, so you can use there. And you can use other job boards that are like websites, yeah, specifically connected with online jobs. Yeah, there is another website that is connected, that is similar to Upwork, which is freelancer.com, guru.com. There's Fiverr. Fiverr works a little bit different than Upwork, but these are places where freelancers are hanging out, and they are called like freelance marketplaces.
Very cool. I'm adding all of these to the chat. So if you guys missed those, I'll put those in there. I always recommend people to go to Upwork. It's one of the largest, and I think there's a lot of options out there. You kind of, like you mentioned before, you got to pick one or two platforms. Upwork's going to be the biggest. It's going to have the most options, but if you've already kind of established yourself there, or you're looking to get started, maybe try with one or two, but don't go try 10 different platforms. You just won't have success if you go with that strategy. So Upwork is a great place. I've hired dozens of people through there, and I found a lot of good people. So one of the things I think you mentioned earlier is you can actually, if you're just getting started, you can find people on Upwork who've earned hundreds of thousands of dollars. Figure out what they're selling, how they're positioning what they're selling exactly, their core differentiators, their services, and don't try to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to you shouldn't steal their copy and their wording. You should try to figure out what they're doing really well and improve upon that as for your own business, and what's going to work well for your own freelancing platform. So you can utilize a lot of great information by just researching other people that are successful on Upwork.com.
Yeah, and especially when you see that people are earning a lot of money there, it could mean that they have a lot of experience, but as well it could mean that they are in some niche. So if they earn a lot, it means that it's quite narrow, so you can really jump in there, yeah, and build your own expertise there. So do your research, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I've got a few questions here. Kaisa asks, I believe this is what she's trying to answer or ask you, is they're based in Mexico. I think they're a little worried about utilizing these local limitations. Maybe it's with their bank or with some other thing. Is there any, living outside of North America, what kind of limitations do people run into being a freelancer?
What do you mean? Sorry.
So I think they're concerned about maybe finding and working with a different cultural clients. Like, let's say they're in Mexico wanting to work with Americans, but also like just the process of setting up Upwork, getting money transferred to Mexico. Have you run into
Yeah.
any of those issues with your clients or maybe yourself?
Yeah. I mean, my clients are based around the world as well. So, of course, right now we have platforms like PayPal or TransferWise that they are like, PayPal is almost everywhere and TransferWise is expanding. Revolut as well. So you can set up accounts in your local currency, and especially in Mexico, I think it works because one of my clients is from there. So definitely you can use that. You don't have to use your local bank account because you might be scared that the money will not go from the US, for example. So these third-party providers are really good into that. In terms of dealing with other cultures, of course, there are some differences, yeah, and it's good to learn a little bit about how, business-wise, these certain cultures are working, yeah. You can research that. You can ask your friends who are maybe from these countries, or simply you can find out while having a conversation with your potential client, yeah, because then you have a conversation about your work ethics and how you do the business. If you work business hours, if you work on Sundays, this for me, I discovered that on the way because 5 years ago there was not that much information about freelancing, at least not online. Yeah, you can ask around. There's right now there's a lot of information on Google, so just research that. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say one thing, figure out if, whatever your clients are, or your potential customers, figure out what payment platform they prefer and just try to use that. I know PayPal is not available everywhere, but for me personally, I work with a lot of freelancers. So much easier for them to just send me a PayPal invoice than to try to set up some other new payment system or payment platform. And it really just kind of gets rid of any of that obstruction or hurdles that I have to go through when working with freelancers.
Yeah, it's better to discover that earlier, because then you might do your job and you will have a problem with getting paid.
Definitely. So let's look on the next questions. What kind of time frame did you experience before committing to freelancing? So let's say today I decided to become a freelancer. How long do you think it'll take me to kind of get some money incoming or getting my first client?
Everything depends how much time do you have. Yes, because some people will say, okay, I'm quitting my job. I have some savings and this is what I will do. I will daily, for a couple of hours, going to grow my business, going to learn about freelancing and learn about the offer I'm going to present to my potential clients. Yeah, so this, of course, could speed up the process. And you can do the slower way. If you have still a job and you're looking for a side gig, you will do it in the evening or maybe over the weekend. Yeah. So I did basically the first one. So I saved money and I moved to another country. I moved from the UK to Spain, where I knew that in Spain I will not get a normal job because there was economic crisis. So my job daily, like around 5-6 hours, was to find a job as a freelancer on Upwork, right? So for me, it was like no other way. Burning the bridges. This is what the thing I need to do. It's pretty stressful, so it might not be for everyone. However, it worked pretty well, and it took me, I would say, around 2 or 3 months to fill out around 30-40 hours of work for the week with 2 clients, right? 2 long-term good clients, yeah. And I would say that it was 5 years ago, guys. So there was not that much information. I was just asking people around. Right now we have so much free content, and you can hack that for sure. Yeah. So when I'm working with clients who are just starting, I would say it will take around 3 months for you to up and running. Yeah. And it's good if you use the tips I told you today, because it will for sure help you to shape your offer and to as quickly as possible find the clients and the problem of the client. Yeah, because as well, when I was freelancing, I was just like, hey, I'm a VA and I will just work with everyone. Yeah, so it was harder because I didn't have any marketing knowledge at that point. So I would say it will take a few months. So if you go all in and want to work full time on that, then it's good to have some savings, yeah, so that you can support your life. But otherwise, so much information, I don't think it will be that much problem for you.
Yeah, I think when you finally decide to go down the freelancing path, you really need to commit some time, block out a certain amount of hours every day to building your profile, building your kind of messaging, and applying for gigs. And you have to be hyper responsive. I think that's something that a lot of people, they just apply for something, they move on to the next thing, and then they kind of aren't super responsive. Try to work the time zones that your customers are going to be working on. If they're in US hours and they're online in US hours, try to cater to that. I think, some things can be done, but you need to really do everything you can to win over those first 5 to 10 customers, because those people are going to help you get reviews. They're going to be some of the people supporting you, potentially working with these people for a long term. Not everyone is seen as just a one-time gig. A lot of people are looking for some stuff longer term. So you really have to make sure that you're setting the expectations correctly. You're over delivering the results though. And it's so important for building that foundation for freelancers when you're getting started. So really good advice, Ania. I think you really gave some great feedback there. We've got a few more questions rolling in here, guys. So if you have anything that we haven't gotten to, make sure to put it in the Q&A. And we've only got a few more minutes here, so we'll try to answer a couple more. JT says, this is very helpful. Thank you. I have a few questions. I guess he's mentioning people are often drawn to him as a person, but not necessarily in the professional context. How can he utilize his network and build relationships genuinely without devaluing those interactions and reducing them? So he wants to make sure that people see him as an expert in something, but I think he really has these strong relationships and has a good network, but maybe they don't see him as the expert. Maybe kind of how you mentioned before, where a lot of your friends are like, she's doing this, this, and this. They didn't really understand what exactly you wanted to do. So do you have any good advice for JT?
Well, yeah, like if you know what you want to do professionally, then start using, for example, social media to share your expertise. Yeah, and then those people, they will see what you're sharing. And this is exactly what happened to me. I built some relationships with people, but they were liking my content, they were talking to me, and but they were still not sure what I was doing. And the moment I was clear about my profession, that I'm the freelance coach and I'm helping freelancers to start or grow their business, then they started to ask more concrete questions, because they saw that I am becoming, or I am an expert in the area. Yeah, so start creating content, start sharing things, step by step. Then you can ask people as well. If you have these contacts, you can share, or you can tag them like on LinkedIn or on Facebook, and ask their opinion about that, right? If you think these people could be in your target audience, ask them about their opinions. People like that as well. So they will notice your activity. They will notice that you are showing up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people need to understand that you need to have like a 30-second pitch about what you do, and you need to have that down. So as soon as you tell people what you do, if they don't understand that, if your friends and family don't get that, then there's there's some problem with your messaging. Don't try to confuse people. Don't make it seem overly complicated. Just stick to your core stuff that you're good at, and really type it out and test it on people. It's like, hey, here's my 2 or 3 sentences that describe what I'm doing. Does that make sense to you? Does that relate to you? Do you kind of understand what I'm trying to get at? So I think you just have to test it. You have to fine tune it over time. You're not going to get it perfect on the first shot. So try to figure out your core messaging. And then I think the last question we have, a lot of people are curious about this. It's going to be a hard one, but what do freelancers do for taxes? I think a lot of people are wondering that in the chat, in the Q&A.
Yeah, well, many different freelancers, they are doing different things. Basically, well, you have to pay taxes, and you are looking for self-employment in the country of residence. Yeah. So I know that some people are traveling more, and then they need to find more of a flexible solutions. But if you are somewhere in your own country, you need to find the model for self-employment. Yeah, because freelancers are self-employed. In a nutshell. So you work on your own, you are like a one-person kind of company, right? So I'm sure you can find a lot of information about that on the internet. You can also probably ask the local government for the advice. But basically, depending on the country, you are paying taxes on your profits. So whatever you earn monthly, and it's the profit of what you earn. So you have your spendings, you have your earnings, and then if you have something on top, you're paying taxes. Yeah, so it depends on which country the taxes are different. And then as well, you pay the social security taxes in many countries as well. So this is another thing that you need to think about, because you need to insure yourself to have a health insurance, for example, if it's possible in your country. And then you are paying this taxes once a year, once in half a year, or quarterly, depending on the country. Yeah, this is what I learned from my clients. So this is not the nicest topic, I would say. Nobody likes to talk about it. However, this is another thing that is important, because, as I said, freelancing is like a small business. So taxes and finances are important, and it's good to learn about them as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's one of those things, you want to consult with a tax professional. Every country is going to be different, no matter where you're based. It's going to be a little bit different. For example, myself, I'm from the United States. A lot of freelancers and entrepreneurs actually set up kind of a system where they're paying themselves a salary, and that way they avoid paying some of this 15% self-employment tax. So you have to, it does get a little complicated. Essentially, you're setting up a few LLCs, filing as an S Corp, and then paying yourself a salary. But that's as simple as I can make it. You really need to talk to tax professionals, guys. Neither one of us are. We can kind of point you in the right direction, but figure it out. Make sure you're going with somebody that knows what they're talking about and is going to figure out your tax situation. So, Ania, I think that's it for the Q&A. Let's go ahead and move on to, we've got some really good freebies for everyone. Thanks so much for staying this far. So, Ania, tell us a little bit about your free offer for us.
Yes, so if you visit my website and then you type freelance-compass, I have a freebie for you, an ebook, which is pretty helpful, and I give it to my clients as well. It's really doing the audit of how you spend your time. Yeah, it's very good for people who are just starting with freelancing, and this is prepare you kind of cleaning up your environment, yeah, specifically in your head, how you think about things, and as well how you work in general. Yeah, so feel free to visit the website, and you will get it for free. It's like around 10 pages, and it has a lot of exercises, because I like my clients or my audience, my students, to do things, yeah, to see the results and to see them in action, really. So guys, if you are interested in analyzing and auditing your inputs from your life or work, and see some results and maybe change something, and then maybe creating an environment or space to actually do this first step into freelancing, online business, or career change, then feel free to have one of these.
Great stuff. I just put it in the chat. So for everyone who wants to take advantage of that, we've got a few more freebies. Let's hear what's next.
Okay. Well, this is the quote as well for you guys, like a motivational thing. I wouldn't be myself if I would not have a quote. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
That's very true. And I think no matter what you guys do, take some action today. Don't procrastinate. Don't be the person who says maybe. Be either yes or no and go one direction. You guys have to start today. And I like another quote. This kind of reminded me of that, is the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is to plant it today. And I think that's a very similar quote. It's one of my favorites. So really, really powerful stuff there. And for all of those of you who are still here, we've got a few more freebies. If you don't mind moving to the next slide. We've got Ania's Facebook group, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if, okay. This is my Facebook group, guys. If you want to join successful freelancers and entrepreneurs, feel free to join. Cool people there. A good space for networking.
I'll add the link to the chat as well. So everyone stick around. I'll put all these links to these offers in the chat. That way you're going to have it and you'll have easy access to it. So what do we got next?
I think that's it. Oh no, sorry. It's just my information. Quickly, if you guys want to connect with me over email or LinkedIn or visit my website, just feel free to do it. You can connect with me. I'm happy to have you in my contacts. And of course, thank you for visiting us today. This is my last.
Thanks so much for having us, or thanks so much for coming on and sharing with us everything.
This is my last slide.
Okay, yeah, so I also have some freebies for you. Feel free to reach out to us, guys and gals. Send us an email, send us a LinkedIn, or on Instagram, Swig Meets World. I'm very responsive. I know Ania is also really responsive. If you guys are looking for help with remote jobs, come to me, I'll help you out. Ania is going to be your expert for anything freelance related, so make sure you reach out to her. She has some really great services. Check out her ebook. And I'm going to be giving away a lot of free stuff, a free resume audit. I'm giving away my Audible book. So if you opt in for my email list, you'll get an email tomorrow about how you can get a free version of my Audible. We've got another free ebook on the top 100 remote companies. So you can find all of this information at globalcareerbook.com/free. And please send me a message if you guys enjoyed this. We're going to be doing similar stuff like this every month. And I'll go ahead and make sure you go over to the globalcareerbook.com/free to find more information about our upcoming webinars. So thanks again so much, Ania. That was really powerful, really impactful stuff. And there was so much value in there. Thanks again for sharing all of that with us.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you guys for being there. It's the first step to reach for information. You are already one step ahead, right? To listen to us, to connect with other people. Good job.
Yeah, way to take some action and utilize that momentum to keep going forward, everyone. You're doing great, and you're going to have a lot of success if you seek help and get started today. So no matter what you do, no matter what path you're going to go down, take some action. And it's going to be a bumpy road no matter what path you go down, but stick with it, and I guarantee it'll pay off. You guys will do great.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ania. Thanks again. That was really great. And enjoy that warm weather in Portugal. I'm a little envious. Make sure you're getting to the beach before 1 p.m.
Thanks. I will. Bye,
Awesome.
guys. Thank you, Mike. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your day.